Hello guys, I am Anurag Verma this side. I am a student of a course called Basic Entrepreneurship for Engineers, which is taught by Dr. Saurabh Gupta sir. And today we'll be talking about building your MVP. So, what is MVP? We have already discussed what is our MVP, but let's quickly recap. So, MVP is a minimum viable product. So, what are the main uh, so Steve Long, who's a businessman, famous businessman, has given a quote called why it is believed that startups fail for two reasons. First, that there is no market for that business, and second, they run out of cash. So, first reason has so if there is no market fit for the product will eventually fail. And second is if they run out of funding, so they fail. So to build product consciously so they don't run out of cash and resources, we build MVP. MVP has a version of a new product which allows a team to collect maximum amount of validated learning about customers with the least effort. So the we know that it is to validate our customers' learning, what we have learned from our customers' feedback. We have what keep the design thinking we have got from the we have used design thinking language, design thinking method in building a product. And the feedback that we have got, we will use that feedback to build MVP. So MVP is a product that has enough features to adopt early to attract early adopters and to validate the product idea in the product development cycle. So it is based on the lean principle. We first we build the product. Second, we measure the product whether the product is performing or not by using the key metrics. And third, we learn where are we failing, how our product is working. So this is the lean principle. So what are the features of MVP? So the features of MVP contain so the features of MVP are the product should contain enough features that it will be purchased by the customer. So it is not only a prototype. So the difference between a MVP and prototype is that people don't pay for prototype. Prototype is only to validate our learn. Our prototype is to validate our concept, but not that people will pay for. So MVP should have enough features that people should validate the learn. People should pay for the people should pay for the product. It should have enough features for that. It will have a feedback mechanism where where customer will send their feedback about the product. It should have enough features that it will attract early adopters. So it should not be a bare bone versions of the product. It should have it should have enough features. It it should be a product that customers are willing to pay for. So it is a very important thing that people are willing to pay for. So MVP is a lean setup technique where you build a mock-up solution and present it to your customer for feedback. Remember, you have identified and listed the product of two, three feature of your solution on your lean canvas. So as we have discussed the in lean canvas, we write the features and we work on that features and build MVP on that features. And MVP should have those features. It should have the identified most important features your competitors are offering. However, you are certain that your top two, three features will work. To be certain, you need to formulate a test solution. Remember to invest a lot in building a full-fledged solution is a waste. So, building a full-fledged product just to test it, just so that we can test, is a waste. Waste of money, waste of time, waste of resources, waste of human resources, waste of human brain. So we build MVP for that. So we how can we define how to define our MVP? We should identify our features we want to test. We should set a timeline by which you want to test it, by which the product should be launched, and it should we should be thrifty, which we should try to do it in the lowest possible cost without compromising. So we'll do so the base a very simple and fantastic way to rank our product features so that we can build on MVP is by this chart. We will come to that later on. Let's move ahead. So now after building MVP, we will go to MLP. What is MLP? MLP is the minimum lovable product. So what you can think, MVP is the minimum required version that we test our product or service, and MLP. So MLP is the idea. MLP is a minimum. It stands for minimum lovable product. So it is an initial offering that users love from the start. It represents the minimum required for the customer to adore a product rather than merely enduring it. So what so this is a very important line. It represents the minimum required for the customer to adore a product rather than merely enduring it. So by that we mean that uh, adoring means we should love the product and not endure just merely enduring it means that we should not just basically use it. We should it should not just be a any other commodity. We should love the product. So to understand better, we need to understand that MLP is better. It is just has an integral that you understand what an MVP is and what not. MLP is not the proof of concept, a prototype, a half-baked version. It is about finding the multiple minimum products or hitting some magic release date. So there are different types of product. MVP is the minimum valuable product, which is MLP is a similar to MLP, but we have it is designed with more thought and care taken in the UI UX of the product. It aims to solve the problem but also delight. MMP is minimum marketable product is the version you'll push to the market in which you can run ads. So example of MLP is in 2010 once Uber came with a strategy that uh, people in San Francisco were having difficulties in getting a cab. So they launched an app in which people have to put their credit card info and they will easily, conveniently able to get cab bookings. So uh, it done that. So the two key question we need to ask while testing our MVP is that what is the riskiest assumption? By what we mean by riskiest assumption is that what are the key features. What are we think? What are the assumption we are basing our product on? For example, my venture is called Oblivion Arts. So it's a interactive generative media concert. So our key concept is that people want to interact with art. People want to, our assumption is that people want to interact with art and they are willing to pay for it. So this is our riskiest assumption. Question two, what is the smallest experiment I can do to test this assumption? So to test this assumption, speaking in the context of my venture, I can say that uh, uh, I can put up a small one day shop where I can test all the feet, where I can set up a concert and see whether the people are willing to come for or not. They're whether willing to pay for it or not. So, building an MLP is a iterative process in all probability. You cannot get it right for at the first instance. So, MLP requires multiple iterations. You need to rebuild it, big fix bugs and all. So, once our customer interview is done, our next step is refining our MLP. But before that, we should start that is important to analyze the interactions, convert them into intelligent, actionable steps. We should start with our risky assumption that we have set. We should analyze the data, the customer codes, the observation from the interaction with the MVP and the verbal and non-verbal cues. We should cluster our learnings and check for the cross-linking and patterns and common theme. So what does he mean by that? So we have got the we have taken the interviews and now we have got the insights from that. So now based on the insight, we should able to make a pattern, make a cross-linking, how to see that what people have common. Are they of a common age group? Are they of a common gender? Are they of a common psychology? So this will help us into customer segmentation. And if we get to know about a customer segmentation, we can target a product better. After arriving our conclusion, we can say, is it proved, improved, disproved, or inconclusive? So our next stage is developing and testing MLP. Again, the whole idea is that creation of MLP is testing the concept you're trying to validate. So always keep this as our goal. So if we are a business building for business, MLP needs to focus better on functionality and reliability. If we are building for consumer, we should focus on the usability and emotional design. So think about that product adoption is going to change for the customer's current system in use and think the easiest way for the customer to transition your product and integrate seamlessly with all the systems you are ready to place in. So uh, we we should think that now that we have made a product, how we can make the people transit from other opponents product to our product, how we can seamlessly integrate our product into their life. So if we are a company with a great brand name in the market, we want to do an MLP test with a new product. We can use a pseudonym and do an experiment in a separate sandbox. Once the MLP is successful, you can start to integrate the product with your current brand so the failure doesn't hurt your brand appeal. So, if you are already a big company and we are thinking of launching a new product, we should do we should test MLP and buy a separate brand name, pseudo brand name, which is not linked with our brand, and see whether the product is good or not, whether it's working or not. If it works, we can launch it in our big brand name, under a big brand name. So, called how to test out MLP by listing our key features, details out. Do we test? How do we test by answering the following question? How long we will test MLP? How is our target? Who is our target audience? How many of them? How we will get to that audience? So now we will do. Uh, now we will do. So after that, we call to action is sourcing customer codes, observation, cluster and learning, thematic structuring, and cross participation. Now we will do an exercise about about building an MVP. So we will do this exercise about creating an MVP. So building MLP, we need to know our features. What features are we want? So we will write at least 8 features of a venture, what we are offering, and we will. So this is the table. So this table is divided into 4 quadrants: high impact and high urgency, low impact and high urgency, low urgency and low impact, and high impact and low urgency. So we will first write down the 8 features we are offering, and after writing out the 8 features, we will put that 8 feature in this quadrant, in this 4 quadrant, based on our needs. So high urgency, high impact quadrant will have very important features will highly impact our product. So based based on my venture Oblivion Arts, so it must be included in MVP. So uh, based on in the context of my venture, I'll write building a portfolio which will show to the customers. Building Creating unique IP will be these 2 features will be a high impact, high urgency features. Second will be low impact, high urgency. So low impact, high urgency will be first will be fixing bugs and fixing bugs in a current system. Second will be create uh, uh, reducing friction and getting new customers. Reducing friction. Low impact, low urgency will be low impact, low urgency features will be so our high urgency, low impact will be social media. Our low urgency, low impact will be refinements of our product, and our low urgency, high impact features will be AI integration in our product, so we don't have to manually re we don't have to manually create our features. We have to do automation so that our turnaround time will be small. So this will be our low impact. So after doing this, we will we will build a MVP based on the product which will have the features of the quadrant, these 2 quadrants. So now that we have learned about Now we have built the MVP. Thank you for this course. We have done all the lectures. We have completely gone through the our course content, and thank you for joining. Thank you for coming, seeing my videos. Like, share, subscribe. Anurag this side.